get into this morning's live. I'm not exactly sure how long I'm going to do this live. I was going to do an update, but I decided to do it as a live this morning because of the movement in the market. I thought it'd be a little more transparent. Although my son is outside playing, so it pains me a little bit to not be outside with him and Julie. But Julie told me to get my work done that I needed to get done and to be as transparent as possible here. So I'm going to try to do my work. We had some movement overnight. We talked about last night in the live that if we were going to have some positive momentum, this would be the candle to do it. Whether or not this pans out in its entirety or not, we don't know. But we'll go through and discuss these levels at a more defined way, even though YouTube's being very, very disappointing right now with my second screen. It continuously keeps logging me off of it when I try to look at the comments. So a little bit of shadow banning going on this morning. It's not a surprise to me because it didn't push around. It didn't share a notification to even myself. So it's going to be very difficult for it to share to other people. So, we don't appreciate the YouTube algorithm, but we use it the best we can. So if you are watching, please make sure to hit that like button so YouTube does recommend this video. It would be greatly appreciated. I'd like to stay transparent. We're not victims here. We play the winner. We're positive, not negative. We create abundance for all, not abundance for I. If that's your lingo, not for I, for all. You're not a victim, you're a winner. We don't want any negative Nancy's. We don't want anybody who's a little too soft to be in here. Speaking of soft, I was at the gym this morning and I kind of got yelled at by one of the workers because I was listening to a podcast and she came up to me very rude and she decided to tell the owner that I said crap because of the way she was talking, and I told her she was being very disrespectful. So the owner, and mind you, I've been going to this gym for 4 years, how it works. So the owner came up to me and was like, yada, 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 and I just told her, she's being disrespectful. I've been coming here 4 years. I'm leaving today. And when I come back, I don't want to talk to her, ever. And, basically, that's the last warning. And if they come up and they bother me again, I'm not going to stay in that gym. Even though I love it, I'm not going to pay somebody else because they're pansies. Especially when they have that soft mindset to where they can't have a real conversation and then, use the power trip. And that's exactly what this particular worker did. Use the power trip. I'm the authority figure. And it's like 25 years old. You're a loser. No offense to this lady, but the way she talked, the way she acted, she doesn't have anything real for herself. She's there to make other people's days. So when you come in here, we try to make things more abundant. Just because I have more knowledge or I might be in the power position doesn't mean I act like it. I would like us all to be on the same playing field because that's the only way to create abundance. So don't act like this person I had to deal with this morning. So I just simply said, I can't win this argument. I'm not going to deal with emotion here with all of you. I'm leaving for the day. I got my workout done and I will come back tomorrow. But I'll be there before they even get there. I just got there a little later today. They don't even come in until 10, so usually I don't have to deal with them. But I just said I'm out of here, and I just said as I walked out, it's unprofessional and very disrespectful. And you can say it and spin it however you want, but integrity speaks louder than bullshit. So, with that being said, good morning. 11:03 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Thursday, August 7th, 2025. I'm XRP Future Millionaire, and I reside in the great state of Michigan. I would say I hope she's watching this, but I know from an economical standpoint, she doesn't know what's going on. She's one of those new age, safe space, blah, blah, blah people. Anyhow, good morning, Mark Casson. Welcome in. Thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 1 year at the I Told You So Badge. Dan Marginal, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for your first month with the emoji badge and me being abducted by aliens. Live Your Dream Media, good afternoon. Welcome in. Wow, I'm surprised your notification worked today out of all days. That is insane. I'm so glad to hear that, Live Your Dream Media. Eddie, good morning. Amanda and George Athanaza, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 6 months with the XRP Predictor. Mo and CJ2 Pilot, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 1 year with the I Told You So badge. Ben Graham, good morning. I'm like, what would you like me to tell my... I didn't tell him who I was, but it's like, what would you like me to tell my audience of 45,000 that HotWorks is becoming too, at least the approach is not so nice. When you have somebody who's I don't know how to put it. but somebody who has no moral compass and plays the victim. My least favorite kind of people. Rudy Poo, welcome in. Stephen G and Frankie Fresh, thanks for being in Tom's Army for 6+ months with the XRP Meteor. Rudy Poo says 7-cent 1 hour candles equals bullish. Interesting. Interesting. The Gatman, welcome in and thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 3 years with the XRP Diamond Hands badge. Excellent. Mario Louise Willemie is a name that I'll always love in the audience this evening or this morning. I really appreciate that. Luther guy says thanks for the info yesterday, Tom. You are the best. Yeah, it was a great live. We talked about how if we were going to have any kind of bullish out push here, it would have to be on today's candle, and it does have the potential of having a 15% candle. It just needs to materialize past these resistance points, which right now we're fine. Got a few things up 7%. ZBCN's down 8%. A couple things up 2-3%. Algo's up 5%. So nothing's looking horrible. We need XRP to get over $3.06. If it gets below 298, it's a big problem on its way back to 289. But right now we've got plenty of room over that 298 level. And now we hit 306. Now we should be back testing that micro level of 303. And somebody talked about it a lot in here the other day. So that could be a micro back test that we were doing at 303. If we can break 306, it's going to open the door to 328 and should be about a 15% surge from there if we can get above it. So we could open up the door to a pretty big move, but we need that validation. Very, very volatile. Very, very volatile. Shane, good morning, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for your first month with the emoji badge of me being abducted by aliens. Frankie Fresh says, hello, everyone. Please hit that like button for the best TA on YouTube, hands down, so Tom can get this info out and so you can get the notifications. Excellent. Thank you so much for that guiding message to everybody who's in here. Tango, good morning, and thanks for being in Tom's Army 3+ months with the XRP Meteor. Walter Rupp, good morning, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for your first month with the emoji badge of me being abducted by aliens. That is my face superimposed on there, along with Sean and Deb Williams. Thank you all so much. Make sure you go to the profile page on YouTube, the post, and you click on the link for the Telegram. Some people are starting to splice it when I would show it in the live. See, I told you, con artists and connivical pieces of shit everywhere that try to steal from good, hardworking people. So now I can't even show the link. So you'll just have to go on the post and do it yourself. On YouTube, just go to the post section. You'll see the Telegram link if you're part of Tom's Army. But like I said, there's connivical pieces of shit everywhere, so you really got to sort through it. Wales, Josie Wales, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 1 year with the I Told You So badge. I don't know. Why are they out? I can order some. I'll order some. 1 sec, everybody. I got to order my son more bubbles for his bubble machine. He loves his bubble machines that we have him, but I need to buy him a big thing of bubbles. Let's see. I can get it from here. I apologize. I got to do this real quick. Julie asked me to do it. So, but I appreciate everybody tuning in this morning. I really, really, really do. Like I say, we can have different mindsets. But overall, it's going to be the mindset that you put straight forward that's going to either lead you into success or not. You know, it's got to come from you. Oh, I need the bubble solution. That's what I need. Bubble solution. And I think this community does a very, 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 very good job. I think we do things in a very orderly way. And I think we give some information that you, in my opinion, you can't find anywhere else. Just because of the way we do it. I mean, you know, I'm a little biased, as you know, because it's my community. But at the same time, I really do think we do things in a profound way. And, what do I need? $2.50. Well, looks like they're going to be giving me a bunch of these little solution things then. And we'll see if they don't have it, and I might have to get it from somewhere else. But at least, get this now. Get them a decent tip. Okay, so back to business. So right now, XRP is sitting at $3.04. Is a little under that 306, as we know. We'll look at Ethereum after. I just want to make sure I say hi to everybody. Mina, yes, I have dent. I have just over 5 million dent. So absolutely, you're my inspiration with Dent. So when I found it go where I wanted, that's where I decided. And then with IOTA, you nailed it in that 18, 17 cent area when you were talking about the buy-in zone in there. So yeah, I have both of those you mentioned. And unless we were to break down, um, but right now I'm not in a worry position. But yes, Mina, and thank you so much for all of your information. You are a very, very influential part of this community, especially what you share in the Telegram as well. It's second to none. Even when you shared down with the audience, you showed them all the levels below where you could technically take a shot, and it's coming to your zones too. So really incredible technicals you do. I put you up there with me and Nick as far as how you see the charts. Real talk. So thank you so much for that. Wales, Josie Wales, good morning, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 1 year with the I Told You So Bad. Good morning to my fellow outlaws. Indeed. Shane says, I'm installing gas dispenser now at Amico. Ooh, be safe with that. That's above my pay grade. I'd probably blow everybody up, unfortunately. Arichi, good morning, says, out here bailing. Hey, praying for a big pump. Thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 6 months with the XRP Predictor and doing the hard work. God's work is what you're doing. Really appreciate that. Really, really appreciate that. Melomania signing in from Hong Kong. Welcome in from my Asian side, my Asian friends. Well, Hong Kong, Chinese. I think that's still the same thing. If I offend people, it's not on purpose. But I appreciate my brother from the other side of the world. Love it. Honestly, that's so cool. Like when you think of the reach and then you think of how far away some people are, it's unbelievably encouraging. It really is. Dan Marginal, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for your first month with the emoji badge and me being abducted by aliens along with Alex Coates. And Dan, the Lord has blessed us all with another day. Amen to that. And don't forget to give thanks to our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Yahweh, Yahshua will guide us. And now that we have more than one person speaking the name of our Lord and Savior, God becomes present in our actions and our speakings and within our community to lead us that guiding arm. It's up to us to follow it. We can feel the touch. I know you all can. Even if you're not religious, so to say, you can feel the guiding arm of something deeper, something greater than us. Amused Reindeer, not giving YouTube my ID. I wouldn't either. If you don't, I wouldn't go down that road if you don't want to. Obviously, some of us have to if we have like certain things we pay for. But I don't know why they might ask for death verification, but I don't blame you. Amused, I don't blame you. Crypto Cooter McMichael, good morning to both of you. I greatly appreciate you both. Somebody said, hi, Tom, can you share fire? Oh, Alex Coates, hi, Tom, can you please share Fireblock exchange? Yeah, BITUNIX is an exchange that has Fireblocks. And if you don't know what Fireblocks are, I'll give you a very, 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 very brief. It's a custodian that watches over your, not only tokens, your liquid assets, your liquid capital, your stable coins. And if there's an issue, you can get it back via the Fireblocks because it's a custodian of all your stuff. So if you get it stolen, hacked, whatever, you have recourse. This is a early system that is deeper. So Fireblocks off exchange leverages MPC technology to enable traders to allocate and mirror assets directly to an exchange from a wallet they mutually control, protecting their principal from hacks, bankruptcy, and fraud, while providing centralized exchanges with complete on-chain transparency that clients, blah, blah, blah. But it basically gives you a second layer of defense if something's going to happen. That's why I first started using BITUNIX when I realized what Fireblocks was and exactly the chains that uses them. And then I realized that they had the lowest spot and leverage trading fees, hands down. So I said, this is a win-win. And Define Group, he's a very trusted mod in the Telegram and in here. He's an admin in the Telegram and in here. He has a great story about that. If you ever want to know, you can ask him in the Telegram if you guys are in there. And if you are in Tom's Army, make sure you go to YouTube on the post section of the YouTube channel and click on the Telegram link to become a deeper part of this community. I hate that I had to put in procedures in place, but we had a few people that were pieces of shit, let's just say, and trying to put it blatantly. And they were trying to splice my account to make it look like me and have you guys send them cryptocurrency and cheat you out of your hard-earned funds, which I don't appreciate that. So I had to do something, put some things in place. And then I realized even when I was doing that, some people decided to go around it and splice what I was showing in the 30 seconds of the link and all that. So even bigger pieces of shit. You know, so I'm trying to protect all of us at the same time, and it's not easy with 45,000 people. So show me a little bit of grace in that sense. We've done a great job, though. We put a lot of procedures in place now. We're almost like the arm reach of the government now. We have our own sections. But yeah, BITUNIX, and that's in the video description below and our pinned comments of this very video. It's pinned in the chat right now, so if you click on BITUNIX, it'll bring you right to the link. It's A1 in my opinion. Change the game. Change the game. Let's see. Arichi, really appreciate all your time and knowledge. I'll keep raising the food as long as you keep showing me the way to financial. Absolutely. That's a deal. I'll be here every single day as long as you keep doing what you got to do every single day. It's an abundance created. I'll create you abundance of knowledge and you create the food we so desperately need to eat. We appreciate it, Arichi. Cannabis Podcast, welcome in and thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 6 months with the XP Predictor, along with the Cannabis Podcast. Has Ripple acquired Rail stablecoin platform? Did that really go through? I've been reading about that for the last couple of days. I didn't want to bring any information about that possibility. Oh, I see it down here. But I've been reading about it. That is crazy. I know they were going to buy it, so that's actually becoming more of a done deal. They're trying to become a big player in this segment. And guess what? Ripple's partnership with Epic, at least not partnership, but them being a big investor, because Epic is trying to create the stable, or the RWA, real world asset tokenized platform. They're trying to create the first actual market of it to where you can use RWAs and be able to transfer them back and forth. So I really missed an opportunity here. We talked about this for so long. I missed a great opportunity trying to watch some of the other markets. And it really came back and held that support perfectly. It was an area we talked about. It could hold before it had the eventual complete breakdown. And if it could get out of it, this is where you'd want to watch. So if you're looking from a buying standpoint, it is technically in the buying zone. I know it sounds crazy, but it is technically in the buying zone as long as it holds, and you'd want to get it as close to $2.05. But this is the buy zone if it's going to hold. And this technical target, I'm doing this for you, Shane, because I know you own it. So I want you to see what's playing out here. So if this plays out, you're looking at a first target of around $2.78. But if this plays out in totality, you're going to have some bigger targets that are setting up. It's almost like a 3-tier setup. And I can show you all the targets real quick, Shane. Just so if you're wondering short, medium, and long term, if it plays out, I can show you every single target you're going to end up coming up to without fail if it breaks up. So you're going to have first target. We're just doing basic technical analysis here. So first target should bring you about 277. You clear that. Next resistance is going to be about 308. You clear that and you'll come to your overall target right about $3.90. And this looks like an all-time cup and handle. So if you're waiting for confirmation, you have to wait for confirmation. But this would be your cup and handle. You're back testing it right here. So this could, in fact, be your confirmation. If this breaks down, you'd probably back test that $1.19 area. Not guaranteed. But if it did break down, that's where you would look. So, I mean, this is absolutely possibly in a breakout sense in real terms right now. And you can have that mediocre resistance where, yeah, you can say you've got wick resistance over the top. That'll be your confirmation. Like, we've got a signal. But in order to confirm this, we would need to break above the micro resistance that was created on two separate... What just happened here? On two separate wicks here. So we'd have to get over 244 in the short term to create this overall push up here. So, Shane, if this breaks down, obviously it's invalidated, but this is the best way I can show you for Epic. Ripple has invested in this company. I did a great update about this exclusively when it was at like $1.82, and then it dropped down to $1.60 or $1.92, and then we had the drop. It came all the way down. I don't know why I didn't buy it at $1.63. But like I said, I get locked up in a lot of different things, and I often forget about certain things. Going into precious metals real quick before I forget, we had a couple things that absolutely shredded earnings. Pan America Silver is at a 52-week high right now, and it shredded in earnings. It absolutely shredded it. Wait a minute, which one was it in earnings? Was it Pan America or was it a different one? Well, Pan America's up 7%, so it did okay in earnings. Which one shredded it? Theirs hasn't been out yet. I thought I seen, oh, maybe it re-advised, maybe it reset it up. That's okay. Might have reset it. Fortuna, it's down 11.8%. They got rolled in earnings. I actually bought more when it was down 11.1% because I think there's an opportunity here. This is an overzealous sell-off. It's happened before. They missed by 23% in revenue. They reported 0.14, standardized 0.154, and they estimated 0.183. And on earnings and revenue, they reported 230.42 million, but it was estimated at 245, missed by 6%. So that caused a big drop, and I am all for it. I bought more, $1,000 more on this 11.8% drop. It was down about 11.2% when I bought. And then Hekla's up 16.2%. We just bought a couple thousand more the other day. And they actually beat earnings pretty nicely. They beat earnings and revenue. Earnings was projected at a 0.057 estimate. Standardized was 0.09, and they reported 0.08, a 40.77% beat. Remember, this is the USA's largest silver producer. And on revenue, they estimated 259.7 million. They reported 304.03 million, up 44.24 million, or better than 17% beat. B2 Gold has earnings, I believe, after hours today. Yeah, after the market closes. And it's interesting because they finally got into the positive flow. So if this is something big, this is going to jump all the way near $5 if something big happens. If it's something like Hekla. Otherwise, we'll see tomorrow if it's more like Fortuna. But opportunity everywhere if you watch. You know, so gold's up $19, almost to 3,400 again. And silver's up almost 1% back over $38. So very happy with what I'm seeing. Nice opportunity, like I said, with Fortuna Silver Mines and Hekla. You know, the $8,000 or $9,000 worth of Hekla, somewhere between 5 and 580. Just it's paying off in a big way. Though that report was beautiful. That's what I was hoping for. Their earnings and revenue. It just seemed like it was getting close. Now, as far as for our cryptocurrency here, I know we're 22 minutes in. We've got, and I'm probably going to do 35, 30, 40 minutes. I don't know. If my son's still out after 30, and in the next 10, 15 minutes, I'm going to go outside with him. And we'll do our normal live tonight at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I don't think there's any donations or anything to get to, or members of Tom's Army. So, yeah, nothing to worry about in that regard. Chuck, good morning. What's going on? Lonzo, welcome in, friend. Love seeing you in here. Very influential part. It says Metallica's blockchain was my smallest allocation. Now it's over 10% of my portfolio. Isn't that crazy how that works? Especially when they start moving. So XRP, just so we can get on the same page here, instead of doing how we could have did an update this morning, this is the main reason I want to do this. So over 298 spectacular. I want to fill in, we know $3.28, but I would like to fill in this push as well, so you can see if this breakout actually happens. This absolutely will get us back up to 360 if we can get over 328. There's no doubt in my mind about this, because that's the technical move on the pattern consolidation. And an invalidation of a topping reversal would bring it back to a double top area to see if we have enough strength to push past. And that would be an official double top up there in that area. But I'm all for that move. So if we get over 306 and ultimately 328, we're going to have a move somewhere around 18. That's why I talked about that 15% in the title. I said XRP so close to signaling 15% surge. Bitcoin, Ethereum, in-depth analysis was my title this morning. So that's what I'm looking at. And remember, we have to get over this micro level, though. There's no other way to put it. That's why we keep getting rejected so far. Until we can get over and hold this very peculiar spot right here at 306. That's the only thing stopping us. Nice bull flag setup, nice inverse pattern. We talked about it on Ethereum and Bitcoin yesterday, how it should bring us up. I was very comfortable talking about it last night in the live. And so far, some people have made some money. I made good money overnight, no doubt about it. With $40,000 in capital, and some of it going up, you know, well, almost 50,000 if you count MXC, 45,000. But MXC I went balls deep on MXC. I bought like 7 million total, not dollars, but tokens. But we'll see if we get this next layer. We'll see if we get this next layer. If we lose $2.98 and ultimately $2.89, it invalidates this thesis for XRP. If Ethereum loses 3,558, it would have been validated, or 554, but we're well above that now. We thought we'd have a stellar kick out yesterday. We targeted it to that 3,860 was our move. That was our first layer move. Did it not hit it perfectly? And now if it holds, I mean, it hit it perfectly. That was our technical move up yesterday we talked about. If it holds this, then we have the eventual target of 3,994 out of this breakout. So first target met. Now if we hold, we look for 39.94. You see how that technicals work? Even if everybody was a little bearish yesterday, we were not. We seen the appropriate signal, and that's how we could predict that we were about to have a move with Ethereum. And a 4% move is nothing to shake your fist at. Now, if it can get over in this 4 hour, we've already made an engulfing candle, plenty of time left. If we can, we would like to close over 38.39 on this candle, and we're very close. Even in the range we're at isn't horrible. Daily time frame is going to look stellar. Weekly time frame is going to look not so bad now. And the monthly is going to look amazing. If it can get back over this resistance and create a new high at 3,940, if we get up to 3,994, we could, in fact, do something special. Volume's nothing to scoff at, but there's still 24 days left, so it's not horrible for the first week. The weekly has 3 days, 9 hours. We'll see if we can pass that volume from last week. Again, nothing crazy here yet. 19 million on this weekly, 42 million last week, but we still got half the candle left, so it'll be similar. Won't be an increase, but it would be very similar volume. Bitcoin, now that we know Ethereum and XRP, Bitcoin 115,467 is important. That's getting over this rising wedge and or rising triangle, which I would like to believe that's what it is to send us to 143. But before we can confirm that, we got to get first 117, 178, get over 118, and ultimately overtake the technical move up here in the short term. If we break out to 126, we get on top of 126 and hold. We have that nice target from the rising triangle and or rising wedge, which would be confirmed a rising triangle if this holds. It would be 143. My technical target for the bull market initially was 122.1, and Bitcoin filled that off the cup and handle. Now, if this pattern that it created holds, it gives us a second target of 143.8K. We do have to get over that 126 micro level, I acknowledge. I do. This 126 is going to have to play. We're going to have to break, because that is going to end up being a target out of this consolidation. So we will have to break that level at some point as well. So that's what you're looking at in the micro for Bitcoin. Defined what'd you miss? A lot. You need to go back to the beginning. So this is the way that I'm looking at the market. If it fades and breaks down, so be it. But we know the bailout safe plan here. If we can't hold these back tests, that's a big deal. XRP is going to be a gatekeeper with Ethereum. We want to see XRP over 306 and Ethereum ultimately over that 3,994. Now that we hit that 3,860 target, resistances have been working beautifully at support that we turned from resistance to support at 3,554. Reclaimed 3,680 and held the back test. Now we're trying to reclaim and hold 3,860. We had a trouble when we first went up there, but that's normal to back test the lower areas. But that's what we're trying to do today, everybody. So I know it was a half hour this morning, but I want to go outside with my son. Tonight we'll be back out. We'll be back at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I don't always do lives in the morning, but I've tried to do more, and I have to base it around my son. But he really wants me to go outside, and I'm gonna satisfy his wishes. So thank you, everybody, for the morning half an hour. Be blessed. We will be back before you know it. I'll probably do some shorts during the day, but remember the micro levels we talked about and the macro levels to make this a little more bullish. And last thing I'll leave you with is the total crypto market cap, the total 3. That's everything besides Bitcoin and Ethereum. We need to get above 998 billion. So right now we've come up to resistance. You get over 998 billion, it opens up the door to a pretty special few moves here. If we look at it in totality, I like to do it like this, just because of the way this pattern dragged out. And yeah, we have a layer to get over at 1.25 billion. But let's just say this solidifies. We get over 1.25 and this plays true. This could be signaling a move up to 1.45 trillion for altcoin market. That's a stellar move if this happens. But that resistance has to fall at 998.86 billion. It's urgent. If that breaks, we could be on the verge or the cusp of 47% move or 45% move in the total 3 market cap. Be blessed, everybody. This is invalidated if we can't get over that resistance layer.